Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Hello, hello, hello. It's Nancy Maddox on WYTV7, the Christian Broadcasting Network, and iHeartRadio with Shine Your Light Radio Ministry. And I'm so excited today. And I know you hear that all the time from me, but I'm especially excited today. We have a beautiful guest, Miss Chanel Thompson, and she is a teacher, a preacher, a prophet, a family mediator, a parenting coach, and a whole lot more. A published author, Tracy Lynn representative, and she's also been an insurance agent before, which is near and dear to my heart. That's what I do now and I've been doing for the last 5 or 6 years. So that's exciting. But before we start with our interview with this exciting young lady, I want to just talk a little bit about WYTV7 Christian Broadcasting Network out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We are a nonprofit, so you can plant a seed by going to our Facebook or our webpage, which would be awesome. And I want to tell you a little bit about the donations that go to the radio station and what they use it for. They use it to promote our shows, broadcaster shows. So it's really exciting. And what we say is, you know, a $5 donation goes a long way to promote our shows. So thank you for that. So without further ado, let's get started a little bit, because this young lady is very exciting, very, just a really happy person, and has done a lot and is going to do more. So I'm really excited about that. I think you're going to get a lot out of this interview today. Miss Chanel, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, what you've done, where you've been, a little bit of your testimony. You're so lively and confident. I'm so excited. Let's hear about that.
Well, in a nutshell, let me do the simple first and tell everybody, hi, I am lively. I am excited because I just have a relationship with God. And that has turned my entire life around. That gives me the joy. That gives me the exuberance. That gives me everything I need to just be me. And so I think that, you know, that's so key and that's so important nowadays, that it just keeps me sane. It really does. And so I want to tell you, thank you so much, Nancy, Miss Nancy, for having me. I'm excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to this time with you today.
It says in here in your bio that you are becoming purpose-filled, productive, and power player. Can you kind of talk a little bit?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I learned, that I've been learning, that I'm going to continue to learn, I know, is that we have to start on the inside, right? We have to start with ourselves. If we want to do anything existential, we've got to go in first. And so my testimony is full of experiences where I've had challenges, deep challenges, some hurtful challenges, but I realized after a while that God was testing me to try me, to build that character in me. And I want to get others, I want to teach others how to go in to be, you know, this wonderful person that God created you to be. And so that's really the core of everything that I do, Nancy. If I'm speaking, if I'm preaching, if I'm teaching, if I'm being a fashion coach, whatever it is that I do, it's based on the core that you can be yourself, and that's all you really have to be.
And you know, I'm a perky person too, and people really do. I'd like to say I'm obnoxiously over. I mean, I'm just really obnoxiously excited all the time. I love being like that, but it does rub people the wrong way once in a while. They don't like that perky attitude. But you know what? It doesn't stop me, because I'm trying to fulfill my purpose and help people. And what I do with Shine Your Light Radio Ministry is I try to promote other people and let them shine their light. It's not about me, but it's about the people that I interview, so they can promote their businesses, what they do, their missions, their purpose, and, you know, and really their ministries. So I'm really excited to hear that about that. So So I see that you're a wife and a mother and a professional and now an entrepreneur. So how are you able to balance it all with no more drama? And let's go into no more drama about what that means.
So yeah, I'm all that stuff, right? And just the daughter of the king at the end of the day. But yeah, I actually used to attract drama, right? I was born into a very dramatic situation. And again, you know, my testimony is full of these experiences that are drama filled. And what I realized is that the Lord was just working out this thing in me, and it's called forgiveness. Who knew? And so what I found out is that forgiveness is a critical key to being yourself, to being whole, and to balance and eradicate drama in your life, right? And so everything that I do, again, is out of that core that you can live drama free. You can shop drama free. You can be all of these different things, wear all of these different hats, and be at peace with your life. And be a forgiving, loving, joyful person. And I think that's how, you know, Miss Nancy, I think that's how you do it, right? The joy of the Lord is our strength. And you get that strength by pushing out negativity and pushing out drama. And so that's what everything's about.
Wow, that's fantastic because people really need this because our whole world is filled with drama. It starts from the time we wake up in the morning till the time we lay down at night. And sometimes some of us have drama just that we bring on ourselves that lasts all night long. So it's very, very interesting that you're connecting forgiveness to drama. Because I mean, I've never really thought of it in that terms, but I can certainly understand that if you have a lot of drama in your life, that causes hurt, and that you do have to learn to forgive and walk on and move on. I mean, that's what God's plan is for us. So that really, really excites me, and I'm going to let you know now that our show will be broadcast on YouTube, which it'll go to an international market. The video will, and then it'll also be on iHeartRadio, which is international, and we have thousands of listeners all over the world. So I'm really excited for this to get out, and we may really be onto something with no more drama and using the stepping stone of forgiveness to get there. So tell me, have you written a book? Is that what this is about?
So yes, it's a bunch of books. It's been a bunch of stuff, right? A bunch of drama, and so it's been a bunch of books, a bunch of experiences. It's going to be a series. I really want the listeners and whoever will to get this notion that if you can just focus on forgiveness, you can live a drama-free life. And so the first book will be released on Friday. Oh my goodness, it's going down. Yay. It's going to be released, and it's actually the drama-free blueprint. So this is the main keys to actually starting your journey, right? Because forgiveness is a journey. Getting to a place of peace about anything and everything is a journey. And so that first book is just the basic blueprint keys. And I'm calling myself the drama-free architect because if you stick with me, I will teach you how. I will teach you how. I will get you there to actually, you know, because that's my thing. That's my ministry. It's really teaching. It's really, you know, if I can teach you how to just be you and be okay with what's going on with you. And that's what the book starts. It starts that journey. And so I'm so excited. And I hope the listeners are going to be excited and they're going to go and they're going to read this and they're going to really start to break down the drama barriers that they have in their lives.
And I believe they will. I believe that this could really catch on because there's a lot of information out there about forgiveness, a lot of books about forgiveness. But as far as I know, I haven't ever heard anyone tie for if I focus on forgiveness, I can live a drama-free life. So that is really cool. That's really a good thing that's fixing to happen. What got you interested in teaching, but using scriptures and as your practical tools?
So one of my core beliefs, and it's in my bio, is that we tend to think of the Bible as this mystical thing, this book of mystery and hidden things. And I just believe that it's really practical. And if we make it relevant, if we keep it relevant and we show how the principles in the Bible are applicable right now and they'll be applicable forever, right? That if we do that and demystify it, that people will embrace the principles and activate those principles in their lives. So when we hear forgiveness, people automatically think that, oh, that's biblical. That's too hard. That's too much. And so saying no more drama, right? People know what that is, right? And I know that were it not for that fruit of forgiveness, there's no way that you could be at peace. First with yourself, with God, or with others. It's just no way. There's a reason why he tells us to do that. Even in the disciples' prayer, he constantly is telling us and reminding us to forgive, and that truly is the core. And I want the listeners to catch on. I want this to catch like fire, because I want people to be at peace. Life is so much more joyful when you are operating in forgiveness, when you're operating in less dramatic circumstances, because life is life, right? Things are going to happen and you can't avoid being hurt. But certainly that teaching ministry in me wants people to get it. And so I work with people, whether it be one-on-one or whether it be in group settings, especially as a mediator, right? Walking people through having a safe place for people to actually confront the drama and then forgive themselves and others and walk away in a much more peaceful place. So
you have a tall task to do. So it reminds me of the environment that we're in now. I'm always posting things about love and loving one another. I believe love is the key to a lot of our issues that we're having. If we could just be more tolerant and love people and let them know that we love them. But forgiveness is an entirely different thing too. And what brings to mind to me is, and I've interviewed this lady who published a book in South Carolina. She was actually involved. She was a member of the church that the shooter went in and shot all the people in South Carolina, shot the pastor and the people at the Bible study. And when I met with her and talked to her, I met her face to face at an event, and then I interviewed her. But when this happened, she said, one of the key things I remember her telling me is, I'm like, how are y'all coping? And she said, forgiveness. She said, we forgive him, we forgive everything that's happened. And it just blew me away because it was so tender and such a raw moment in their lives. And she wasn't at Bible study that night, so she survived. But I'm like, how do we do this? How do we get this mentality where we put forgiveness first? And I think it's very difficult in this day and time, because you know what? When I'm in grief or when I'm in sorrow or when I'm in drama, I'm not always wanting to forgive people right then. I want to get it out. So,
and you know what, Nancy? That is actually critical. Is the I in the whole situation, because often the first thing you think of with forgiveness is others, right? But you got to start with yourself. You have to actually deal with yourself, because the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, which means love yourself first. And it's the same thing with forgiveness. It's forgive yourself first. Believe it or not, that's where the drama kind of starts, because we'll impute negative feelings on ourselves. We'll feel responsible for things that we're not responsible for. There are tons of things that we have to forgive ourselves for first, and that opens up the door that forgiveness becomes a part of life, where it's not a thing that you do when something happens, but it's actually the way you operate, just like love, just like kindness. You see where I'm going with this? some of my readers, my Bible scholars would know, the fruit of the Spirit. It's really one thing with different components. And so, again, I believe that if you start with the I in the situation, it becomes so much more a part of you. And it's easier to do when it's a part of you.
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of times us that are a little older, that's what we think about, because I mean we evolve to that where we have forgiven ourselves and we're more open to forgive other people. But I honestly have never tied it to drama. I'm sitting here overwhelmed and a little amazed. I mean, I think it's so awesome. It's a great, loving it. So I really hope that we have a lot of listeners on this, and we'll be posting it everywhere. Trust me, we'll send it to you to post too, and we will get the word out. And I'm just very, very excited about that. You also have other businesses that you do, so I want to talk a little bit about that. One of them is fashion. You say you love fashion. Tell us a little bit about that passion that you have and what led to these beautiful pieces of jewelry that you have on.
So, yes, yes, and yes. I have I've always been a little drama queen, right? I've always loved fashion. I remember watching my mom get dressed to go out, and she was so fancy. I had aunts in my life that they dressed me up with the little Bobby socks and all that kind of stuff. And so I guess it was always in me. But as I was going through this whole thing about no more drama and being at peace, for me, I actually went to my closet. And I started making my outside look good, right? Because that does build your confidence. It absolutely makes you feel better if you look better. I'm sorry. If you like what you see in the mirror, you're going to feel better. And, but God took me deeper and showed me how that was a piece of myself that I needed to go ahead and embrace. It is what it is. But that also gave me peace about how to deal with some of the situations. Sometimes I just have to put on some makeup, and that will get me out of my dramatic place, right? Sometimes I just have to put some makeup on and cry so I can forgive. Like it's that simple. But I also believe in no more drama in your finances. As you stated, I used to be an insurance and financial services associate. So I'm very, very, very keen on having no drama in totality. So in your finances, in your closet, all that stuff. So, these are things, these are places that we go in our coaching sessions. And I hope the listeners are excited because I want them to have no more drama anywhere of their lives. So I love it. I'm a fashion coach, and I help people get okay with how they look and find their own personal style. One of the businesses that I have is I am a Tracy Lynn jewelry consultant. I love it. It's on me. It's behind me. I love it, and I love what Dr. Lynn stands for. She too is a Christian. She is very much about making people. We have something called Pass the Mic. She's very much about uplifting and empowering and encouraging, and so that's one of the things that I do as well. And so I appreciate this opportunity to tie that piece of myself in as well. Thank you so much for that.
Well, I mean, I always like for any of my guests to be able to talk about everything that they do because it's a whole package. And now, like I say, I really want to shine your light on you and let you shine your light to other people. And this is what the whole ministry is about to me, the radio ministry. I also read in your bio that you are the blended family strategist. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I really think that's a special problem in this day and time.
Oh my goodness, Nancy, now you're going deep on me. Yeah. So, again, this journey to live drama free. I was born into a situation where my parents were not together. And so I didn't know it, but inside of me was this little mediator You know, I wanted everybody to get along. I wanted everybody to really love each other. And so I that's what I am. And I show people, I coach people, I help people, I advise people, I advocate for co-parenting. I advocate for blending, right? Because you know, when you're blending something, when it's over, it's something new. When it's over, after you finish blending, it's something tasty, it's something good. And you don't know that there's a raw egg in there. You don't know that there's some, you know, wild oats or flaxseed. You just know this thing is good and it's good for you. And so, yes, that is one of the programs that I do. It's helping parents who are not in the same household, but who have children in common, to co-parent them without the drama.
I just love that, how you tie everything back to no more drama. I think that's it's just great. Also, you have a ministry uh, and a message called "Healing the Hurt from the Inside," able to and teaching people how to do that. And I know this is going to tie back to no more drama too. So,
Yes,
tell us a little bit about that program that you have.
sure. It is, and so that's more of the personal one-on-one. I do a lot of outreach with teen girls, especially, but also young women, divorcees. It really crosses just about the entire spectrum with regard to I've been hurt, now what? Right? I've been hurt, and I think earlier you said, I just want to, I just want to punch somebody in the face. I just want to get it out. Um, yeah, but we don't want to punch. We don't want you to punch anybody in the face. We don't want you to do that. We don't want you to lash out. And so I help people to go in. You know, just remember Elijah. He had that really big fight, right, with Jezebel, and he won the fight. He won, but he ran into a cave right after. And in that cave, he got to really recognize God's voice. In that cave, he understood that it's not amidst all the drama going on that God's speaking, but actually the still small voice. And so that's what that does. It takes you out of the drama. It teaches you how to go in and heal the hurt that's causing you to not forgive first yourself and then others. And once you get on that path, I promise you, you're going to live drama free. I promise. I promise.
Go back to the Bible being mystical and people not quite understanding, and I think this is a vitally important to your movement, No More Drama. And I do think that people are overwhelmed by the Bible. They're overwhelmed by people that talk about the Bible, talk about the instances, and it's just so real in this day and time, and what we're all going through, economically and social movements and all. It's really, really, that's a very interesting concept to think about, overcoming the mystics of the Bible.
Absolutely. And the Bible is so rich, right? That it shows us all these other things that are going on in the world way back then, still going on now, but how God's people were able to laser focus, right, on his principles, his statutes, and that really comes from our example, Jesus. I mean, he taught in parables. He spoke about all of the scripture in a way that regular people could understand what he was talking. He would say, the kingdom of God is like, and even if you didn't know what a kingdom was, even if you really didn't understand his God, right, at the time, you still could understand after the like. And so that's exactly what I believe in. Let's take out the these and the thous. Let's take out the e's and the vowels, but let's talk about how the concepts, the principles in the Bible are relevant, and they're going to stay relevant. They're going to become even more relevant to being able to hear God, to function in God, to be your best self. and to operate in the wealthy places, in the blessed places that God has for us. And so, yeah, I don't do these and thous, because that's not how we talk now. Um, I really believe that, and a lot of times I don't quote scriptures, right? I don't quote the biblical, because a lot of people have never even read a Bible. But the Bible tells us that we're supposed to be the church. We're supposed to be the examples. And so if they can't see it in your walk, a lot of people are not even going to listen to your talk. So you
That's
just,
absolutely right.
I mean, it's just, you got to be real with it, and time out for all this extra stuff, and just let's boil it down so people can heal.
Yes, ma'am. Here again, I want to tell you that we just have such a fascinating and beautiful and just a very lively guest today interviewing Chanel Thompson. So excited for her and what's happening in her life and how she's willing to help people. That's what I'm all about too. And we're on WYTV7 in Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as on iHeartRadio and YouTube. So be sure and watch for this video and this interview to come out. It's going to be exciting. If you are just joining us, you're in for a treat. And anyway, WYTV7 is a nonprofit, so we would appreciate any donations that you could give to it, because we use those donations to promote our shows. So it's kind of exciting. But anyway, I have a couple more questions. We have a little bit of time left. What I'd like to know, Chanel, is tell me about how we can support you, and I don't mean like in the word of you. I mean support what you want to do, where we can go to follow you, and where will the book be on sale. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I definitely want you to be on this international scene where you can tell people what you need.
I need you guys to get healed. And so what I need from you then is for you to follow me on Facebook. I am Elle Chanel, ELLE Chanel. I also will have the first book in the series will be out on Friday, November 10th on Amazon. I believe it's going to be Kindle compliant. And so I'll have the link for that. That'll be on my Facebook page. I'm also at Instagram at Elle Chanel Speaks. That's LCHANEL Speaks on Instagram. And so for now, two places, and I'm gonna love to meet you there. I'm excited. I'm excited about this journey, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people to take this journey with me.
Yes, ma'am, and I know you will, because people are attracted. People are attracted to people. We understand the laws of attraction, and people are attracted to people that are positive, that are honest, that talk real talk, and especially someone that wants to help them focus on forgiveness to lead a drama-free life. That's one thing that just everyone needs to start to grasp and understand, and everyone needs it. I mean, even the best people in the world, they still have inner turmoil where they need to forgive themselves. So I thank you so much for being on the show today, and I hope that people will start going to your Facebook and connecting with you. And when the book has come out, be sure you advertise it, because people that are going to watch this show and listen to this show are going to definitely want to dial in. I mean, get the book No More Dramas, and since it's going to be a series, it's going to be fabulous. So I thank you so much. Everyone have a great day, okay?
Thanks, guys. Love you all. See you there.
Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine.